All right, so we have some updates in the Leah, Ashe, and Megan Plays situation. More specifically, a bunch of clips of Megan Plays talking about the situation have surfaced, from live streams and videos to reposts and comments, and there's just a lot to go over. And on top of that, there is apparently a screenshot of Leah Ashe apologizing circulating on the internet, which, very quick disclaimer, I don't think it's real, so we're going to get into that a bit later. And on top of that, I've been checking people's followings, and it seems like Flamingo is still following Leah Ashe, Zach, which is Megan's ex-husband now, and Megan Plays, which I guess maybe Flamingo doesn't use Instagram a lot, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, Flamingo, you naughty fella. But anyways, for those who that maybe don't know, there were some allegations, emphasis on allegations, that surfaced about a month ago that allegedly Megan Plays' husband, Zach, cheated on her with Megan Plays' best friend, Leah Ashe. Now, I want to again highlight these are allegations, they haven't been proven, but with, Megan becoming a little bit more vocal and talking more about the situation, I would infer that I would err on the side that maybe it's truthful. Again, I'm still hoping that this is just some massive misunderstanding, because I grew up watching both these girls, but at the end of the day, I'm unfortunately starting to think that it's not. So we're going to get into it, and of course the goal with all these videos is just to show you guys everything that's circulating so you guys can make your own informed decisions as to what you think about the situation. Please also keep in mind, don't be leaving comments on Megan's stuff. We're going to get into that a bit later. People have been leaving the most atrocious comments under her videos. You guys are weird. You're weird. So starting off strong, we're going to start off with a video that was posted by Megan Plays. Now, I do have to mute the clip because it is copywritten, but it's basically her singing along to a song in her bathroom. And that song is called Parachute by Hayley Williams. And for those that don't know, it's basically, I would interpret it as a breakup song, but the lyrics go, and these are the lyrics that she's singing along to when I'm going to put the video on the screen. The lyrics go, ask me on a plane from Rio, do I ever think of us? And you were at my wedding, I was broken, you were drunk. You could have told me not to do it, I would have run. Tell me what was the moment you decided to give up. You could have told me what you wanted, I would have done anything, I would have done anything. I thought you were going to catch me, I never stopped falling for you. Now I know better, never let me leave home without a parachute. So obviously, this is a pretty heavy song, and I don't think these lyrics are meant to be like super trendy and catchy. I think they obviously are telling a story where Megan Plays feel like her partner allowed her to fall. That's the way I'm interpreting it. You guys, of course, let me know how you interpret this in the comment section below. Now, aside from that, there is also a lot of people are calling this kind of like a thirst trap video to the song like Big Dog Make You Scream, and it's basically just her doing this dance, which again, I can't play the audio because that is copywritten. The next video we're going to go over is this video that goes to the song Time Casts a Spell on You, But You Won't Forget Me. Again, I can't play it because of copyright, but the text says you handled it so well. And then she wrote, actually, I've contacted 7 different Etsy witches and have fallen into a spiritual psychosis, but thank you. So for those that don't know, it is kind of like a thing for people to contact witches on Etsy. So Etsy is like a platform where people can offer their services. And that's kind of where a lot of you guys ask me. That's where I get some of my thumbnails is from Etsy. So, but Etsy is a place where people can, again, sell their services. And there's a lot of people who label themselves as witches on Etsy. And they offer you like different, guidance or advice based on like, I guess, their spiritual connections. And people will pay for their opinions and their guidance and whatnot. And a lot of people are speculating that Megan Plays was apparently putting curses on Zach and Leah. However, she did clarify in the top comment under that video, don't worry y'all, I didn't curse anyone, I just keep asking them to tell me my future, ha ha ha. Which I think this is actually a very common thing. I didn't know how common this was until I was doing research for this video and I went on Etsy and there were so many Etsy witches. I had no idea this was a thing. There's like a whole sub-genre I've never explored before. And there are a lot of Etsy witches and a lot of them refuse to do curses because I guess it's like a bad, like it's bad karma, like it's not good. So they only will like give you advice or like, I guess, pull from like their spiritual connections to kind of understand what's happening and give you guidance, which is interesting. I don't know if personally I believe in it, but I definitely do think it's cool. And if that's working for Megan, I think that's great. This next one is a video of Megan sitting at her desk, and it has the trending audio, which is like a dun 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 dun, which I can't really replicate it, but again, it's copywritten. But it writes, that damn white rabbit. And a lot of people don't know what this means, and it was really funny when somebody commented under that post, that damn white rabbit, and showed a video. It was one of the last videos of Megan and Leah when they were at, I believe, like a spirit Halloween or something, and it actually shows Leah wearing a white rabbit hat, and Megan responds, OMG, I didn't even realize this. Now, for those that don't know, the white rabbit and like the all roads lead to Rome kind of a thing is like a new kind of like internet subgenre thing. I don't quite know. It's very confusing. So I pulled up this definition from an online wiki. And it reads, the phrase white rabbit and roads to Rome is not a traditional combined expression, but has recently gained popularity as an internet meme. It merges two distinct ideas. The white rabbit symbolizes the feeling that time is running out, or the beginning of a journey into the unknown, which I would infer the beginning of her journey into being a single mother. And then all roads lead to Rome is an idiom meaning that all choices, methods, or actions eventually lead to the same result or inevitable end. So the way I interpreted this was her saying, like, no matter what she would have done, her husband would have still allegedly cheated. And I'm a firm believer in that like notion that at the end of the day, you can't stop your partner from cheating. If they were going to cheat, they were always going to cheat. It's not your fault as the other person in the relationship if your partner cheats. At the end of the day, if someone is going to cheat, they've always been a cheater. I don't know, my personal belief system is when somebody cheats, you cannot forgive them. There is no changing, but I know other people have different opinions. But as somebody who's been cheated on, no. I was so quick to drop that guy. I was like, yeah, no, you're done. Then down here, it just kind of gives more context as to like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland and convey a sense of anxiety about the inevitability of a specific, often negative outcome or the unstoppable passage of time. So I guess like maybe she had a feeling something was going on for a while and just recently found out. I don't know, but I definitely did think it was interesting that she was, obviously making a video with that trend. Now, she also posted this video. It was like a flashback from 2020 where she said, I ain't never seen two pretty best friends. And it's a picture of her. And then it was like, I don't have a best friend was the second one, which I don't know if this is the original one from 2020, but I thought her and Leah had been friends for longer than 5 years, but maybe they weren't best friends back then. I don't quite know. Or maybe she edited it to say that she no longer has a best friend. I'm not quite sure about the context of this. You guys can feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And what's interesting is underneath this video, there were some comments. This one by Kat reads, hell yeah, she's jealous, babe, you're gorgeous. And then there's some really distasteful comments, like this one. I love Ashe. Leah is kissing your husband. Justice for Queen Leah, real men would never cheat, it's Zach's fault. Which, there's a lot to unpack here. The first thing, why are you taunting her with Leah's kissing your husband? Like, that is so messed up. Like, you're so gross. This person is so weird for saying that. Like, and I'm sure they're probably a kid, but like, regardless, your mommy needs to take your iPad away, you're grounded. What is your problem? The bottom comment too, justice for Queen Leah, real men would never cheat. Real women would never cheat. I don't get why there's like this weird like sexism in this situation, and I've seen this quite a bit. And again, keep in mind this is alleged, but there is a lot of people who are very quick to be like, it's like two opposites of the pendulum. Some people were saying, oh, Leah, you're a home wrecker, you're this, you're that. Then other people are like, Zach, you're so unfaithful, like blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, though, it takes two to tango. In my opinion, if the allegations, if they're true, they are both equally culpable. And it's so unfortunate because they were like Megan's closest support system to my understanding, and so to have the people that are closest to you both betray you at the same time on such an emotional and impactful level right after you've had a child, it's just so incredibly messed up on so many levels. And I think it's weird for people to be like, oh, Leah's innocent, which yes, the allegations haven't been proven. However, in this situation, I think you have to hold both people accountable. It's not just Zach's fault or Leah's fault. You'd have to hold them both accountable, because at the end of the day, it wasn't like, in my opinion, one person was like forced into it. That's not the narrative that has been shared. It sounds like it was a mutual, betrayal of trust that they decided to commit. However, again, keep in mind these are alleged, so that's just my opinion based on the allegations. Now, there's also a lot of reposts by Megan, one of which is best friendship of her life, where basically it's like a video of this girl and she's like, before our friendship fell apart, it was like the best friendship of my life, which I'll show the video, but I can't play the text. And then there's this other video with the guy driving, and the text on it says, no revenge, because someday when your daughter comes home crying about a guy betraying her the same way you did, you will have nothing to say. Which I thought that was actually really powerful, because obviously, for those of you that don't know, Megan had a child not too long ago named Clover, and that child is a girl, obviously, it's her daughter. And eventually, I think anybody who's ever been in a relationship will probably experience a not so great relationship. For those of you that maybe are lucky, maybe you haven't, congratulations, gold star for you. However, I've been through it. I've had some not so great relationships, and I think a lot of you guys can share that experience. And, I definitely do think that at some point, unfortunately, Clover may be in a relationship where you know, she isn't treated properly or something like that. And I think the powerful and the weight of these words is really undermined, because at the end of the day, if she goes crying to her biological dad being like, this happened to me, like, I'm so upset, what is the dad gonna say if these allegations are true? Oh, sorry, honey. You know, back in my day, I was also a terrible person. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was very, very impactful. And keep in mind, again, these are just allegations. There's also this video that she reposted, which was confirmation that she's single. And the text reads, how it feels to be single after British folk declared that having a boyfriend is embarrassing. So she's confirming that she's single. There's also this post, which I couldn't download it, but it's a video of this guy basically walking back from a camera, and it reads, the scariest part of October theory is that you'll lose the most important person in your life even if you both are extremely happy yesterday. I wrote the song about that feeling because I'm so terrified of that happening and being haunted by it forever. Which, if you guys don't know, this all kind of went down in October, so I believe she's referencing her marriage, you know, dissolving in October. There's also this one, which is a reference to Death Note. For those of you that don't know, it's an anime where basically you have a book, very brief, because I'm not going to spoil it, but you have a book. If you write people's names in it, they die. That's basically the concept. And the text writes, how I'd be moving if I got my hands on that MF book. And I believe this is referring to the Death Note book, which she reposted this. There's also 2 tweets from Megan. This one reads, not to be emo, but I'm literally so sad and I just feel vast emptiness. It's so hollow and so heavy at the same time. And then she also, a couple days before that, wrote, opening X right now and seeing this, logs back off. So, you know, it's evident Megan's going through a hard situation. And on top of that, for the first time in a while, actually this week, she actually went live on YouTube, or she did a live stream playing, was it like 99 Nights in the Forest, or what that game's called? And at some point during that video, on the 100th night, at the beginning of the video, she made a comment about her and Leah, which I'll pause myself and show that to you guys.
You're watching one of my old streams last night to fall asleep. Oh my gosh. Mother, welcome back. Hello. Same girly, you're sick. Oh no, I'm so sorry that you're sick. Am I still friends with Leah? No. No.
And then after that comment was made, further into the video, I thought this was fake. I was sent this by so many of you guys, and she spoke about Zach buying Ozempic, which, for those of you that don't know, Ozempic is a medication that can be used to treat certain illnesses, but more commonly it has been abused by high-profile celebrities to basically lose weight without having to put in as much effort. It's, you know, been sold on like not so reputable ways, and I'm not gonna, you know, talk about how Zach potentially got this. Maybe it is for an actual medical condition. But the way that she referenced it made it sound like to me that potentially this is being used for weight loss. I'm not sure though. And somebody asked Megan, like, did you pay for Zach's Ozempic? And she answered like this.
Zach looked MAGA. Zach was not MAGA. He was not. I'm just gonna be honest. He was not. Did Zach use my money to get himself Ozempic? No, he used his own money to get himself Ozempic, which he does not, which is not a secret he keeps.
So obviously the chat went crazy after she said that, and I'm not trying to obviously make fun of anybody if they're on special medications. However, I thought it was interesting that people were pointing out that Zach was on Ozempic. It's just very, I don't know. This whole thing was just like, people went crazy after she said that. I don't quite know why. And then on top of that, she also did a charity stream, which, side note, this woman has just had her marriage fall apart. She has just found out that her 2 closest support systems have betrayed her, allegedly. And less than a month later, she is on a charity stream to raise money for sick kids. Meanwhile, her alleged cheating ex-husband and her alleged cheating ex-best friend have been absolutely radio silent except for the alleged clip of them making out in Disneyland. I think that really speaks to the difference in morality here, personally. Like, for someone who's already going through so much, to be doing a charity stream in the first place is shocking to me. Like, that really does speak to Megan's, you know, resiliency and just her obviously wanting to help people. And even though she's actively being victimized by the situation, she's still making an active effort to help people in need, which I think is really admirable. But during that live stream, she was just kind of talking with the chat and raising money for a good cause. And in that live stream, she had mentioned something about Zach. And someone's like, Zach, what are you talking about, Zach? And she said this.
This is getting close to the microphone. What do you mean, Zach? Guys, unfortunately, he is in my life forever. Unfortunately, we had a baby together. Therefore, I do have to talk to him every day. Unfortunately.
So obviously she is alluding here that although her and Zach are not together, unfortunately they have a child together. And so at the end of the day, again, I mentioned this in my previous videos, not to get too into it, but there's going to be some sort of legal decision as to who has custody. If the custody is 50-50, like 1 week a parent has the child and the other week another parent has the child, etc. There's going to be a whole legal and court decision surrounding that and the way assets are divided and who gets the house. And I'm sure they signed all sorts of documents and prenups before they got married. However, obviously this is an ongoing issue. This is all still very recent. And so she does confirm here that unfortunately, because Zach is still the biological father of her child, he will be involved in the child's life because that is his right as a parent, which I have my own personal beliefs about this. I feel like if you betray, allegedly, your wife on a level this deep, I feel like at the end of the day, you should still be able to see your child, but I feel like it just continues to like hurt and victimize your ex-wife when you're constantly there as like a reminder of how you betrayed her. And the same thing too, like I'm just thinking about how the logistics work. Like if allegedly Zach and Leah are together and they're like now a couple, which I don't know for sure, that's what people are speculating, so keep in mind that is speculation, that is not a fact. How that would work with like Christmases, and like imagine like you're co-parenting and then you have your ex-best friend coming over with your ex-husband to celebrate Christmas with your shared child, but then you have to see them all during like the whole, I don't know. It just seems so messy. And honestly, like my heart goes out to her because I cannot imagine how much strength it takes to deal with something like this. And for her to still put in a brave face and to, you know, be coming back to YouTube and to be doing charity events after all this has happened while she's single-handedly raising her daughter. I don't know what to say, but she needs an award, Woman of the Year, because a lot of people wouldn't have the strength to do that. And we just kind of either A, not hold their partner accountable, or B, just, you know, crawl up in a ball and like cry and like give up. However, you know, Megan's a very strong woman, and obviously she's decided that she's not gonna let this define her. She's been actually working on her YouTube channel to try and get back into content creation, which is something that she's mentioned previously in live streams and just in videos in general. And so I'm really looking forward to see what Megan will continue to make in the coming weeks. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people are taking this situation as a free ticket to profit off of Megan's, you know, unfortunate circumstances. And I've seen a lot of fake screenshots going around of people saying, oh my God, Leah apologized. And it's like a tweet of Leah saying, I'm sorry. I've already said this at the beginning of the video because I didn't want to lead you guys on the entire video. However, it is fake. It is 100% fake. It is not real. To my understanding, to my knowledge, nothing has been said by Leah or Zach, and I obviously believe that is a PR move. Again, these allegations haven't been proven. However, I feel like in the heat of the moment, it's better to just not say anything because no matter what they say, it's going to cause quite a bit of stir and a lot of drama, and I believe that could potentially, you know, put at risk their partnership agreements or maybe some sponsorships they have lined up. I'm not quite sure, but I think from a legal standpoint, it makes sense to not say anything. And so I highly doubt that this tweet that's been circulating is real. So please, guys, when you're looking at content or seeing edits or seeing stuff on, you know, like there's videos going around apparently like Leah Ashe getting ready for her wedding with Zach and stuff like that. I know you guys think you're funny, but it's really not funny to joke about somebody's situation like this and to like joke about it for easy clicks and views and to stir up drama. And then you have people going to Megan's page being like, did you know that Leah and Zach, they're engaged now and they're gonna get married and blah blah blah. It just creates so much issues. And I know a lot of you guys are probably kids and just trying to get like a quick view and whatever. But imagine if that was you. Like, imagine if you were in a relationship for so many years, and yes, that relationship was public, but that doesn't give people the right to make things up. You know, at the end of the day, because the relationship is public and because Megan has, you know, publicly disclosed what has been happening, you have a right, just like I do, to talk about it. There's a lot of people that maybe don't agree with it, that's fine, but if something is publicly available on the internet, you have every right to talk about it. It just depends on the way that you talk about it, which is why I always try to address these things from a respectful perspective, and I try not to be like clickbaity or like rude about it or, you know, like dramatize it or whatever. However, there is a lot of people out there that unfortunately take this as a free ticket, again, to make up rumors, to completely fabricate things. People are using AI to make like videos of Leah and Zach walking down the aisle. Like, that is just so messed up. And genuinely, you need to go into timeout because, babe, no. You're really weird for that. You're really weird for that. But anyways, with that in mind, please, guys, be careful what kind of content you're consuming. There's so much misinformation going on the internet. I personally would only trust content that you can physically see on Megan's page, because lots of people have been taking old videos of Megan's and putting like different subtitles over it and saying, oh my gosh, she just posted this today, calling Leah a homewrecker or something. And it's a video from like 5 years ago and her hair isn't even the same color. And it's just like, no. So please be careful what kind of media you consume. To the best of my knowledge, everything that I shared with you guys in this video is, you know, actual content that was put on the internet. I sourced all of this myself by screen recording, going through live streams, by downloading videos from Megan's page and taking screenshots. So any content I shared in this video, aside from the screenshot of Leah Ashe allegedly apologizing, those are all accurate. Every other kind of content that I've shared is accurate. However, the Leah Ashe comment, in my opinion, is fake. So with that in mind, thank you guys. Sorry, my phone was ringing. But anyways, with that in mind, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.